Hey, Programming 12. So now what we want to do is, now that we know about the shapes and colors, we want to talk about how do we layer shapes on top of each other. Like right now, these shapes are separate. It's not really interacting, but technically they're drawn on separate layers, so to speak. One is drawn above the other. Here's a good example. There's a function called background, which, theoretically sounds like it colors what your background is. If I was to type it at the end, say let's make a white background. I'll make a black background. When we get a black background, at the end of the code, you'll see that all we get is black, and we don't have the squares anymore. And you might wonder what happened. The answer is the background was drawn on top of the shapes. So the function background is actually kind of poorly named. It just covers the screen. And the fact that it gets drawn in the background or the foreground really depends on where you put it in your code. So if I put background here, I cover up everything because it's the last thing that gets drawn. Things get drawn sort of from top to bottom. So first it draws our green square, then our orange square, and then the black, background, I guess. But it's kind of a misnomer. So how would I get it actually in the background? Well, put it right up at the top. Put it first, and then it will draw that background first, and then then the green square, then the orange square. So that's how it goes. What if I was to put it in between the two? Like if I put the background here between this square and that square, well, it'll draw the green square, but then it will cover it with the background and then draw the orange square. So we only see the orange square. So there you go. That's the story. Let's put it at the back. So at the top of our code. Now imagine you wanted to have a shape that overlaps your other shapes, but maybe you only want it to say overlap the green square but be underneath the orange square. So how would you go about doing that? Well, you just have to kind of figure out where you would code that, like what, where in your code you would put that. So in this case, I would put it right in here. I would put my circle. Maybe I'll put it at the center, width divided by 2, height divided by 2, make it 400. Nice and big so it'll really cover things up. And you'll see that, hey, it overlaps with the background and with the green square, but it is underneath the orange square. And that's entirely because of the order in which I put them. So remember that the order matters. The first thing you draw is in the code from top to bottom. Like the top thing you draw is put on first, and then the next thing is layered on top of it, and the next thing is layered on top of that, and so on. You can use this for a bunch of cool effects to cover up things, and we used this quite a bit last year, so that's going to be the same this year. If you weren't in Programming 11, you might be like, oh, I'm not too sure what's going on, so you might want to just try this out a few times. Just draw a bunch of shapes and see if you can control the layering, and have some fun with like making a semicircle by covering the bottom of a circle, that kind of stuff. So I think that's great. Okay, so now I want to pause the lessons and I want you to go do some programming. I want you to make yourself a drawing of a house. I'd like you to use, let's say like 15 different shape functions. You could do more if you want, but don't do too much. Don't go overboard on this one. This is going to be for completion. And I'd like you to use all the different shape functions we went over. So you can refer back to the shapes video. And I would like you to also use colors. So whatever colors you want. I want you to draw a house. I just Google searched kids drawing of houses. So this is the kind of thing like you could draw right here. This would be great. It's got triangles, it's got squares, it's got a circle, it's got lines. You could make, squares or quads or whatever you want to have going on. Here's another great one here. Oh, look at that. This is what's getting a little bit wild with the tree. You can make it just a triangle if you want. But you could have, if you're looking to have some fun with it, you could go here. It's using a lot of colors, that kind of stuff. So make a picture like this inside of a sketch, and have a good time with that. It's kind of fun to draw just like a little basic thing. And it probably won't take you too much time if you've done this, if you've done Programming 11. But it might actually be a challenge if you are new to processing. So a good challenge to take on. Okay, when you're done that, 10 to 15 shape picture of a house with full color using all sorts of different colors. I would like you to show that to me. So you can raise your hand, show me that you're done, and check it off. It's a completion mark, so if it's not complete, if say you are missing the 15 shapes or something, then you will not get full credit. Last but not least, I would like you to make your code for this beautiful. I And I'll give you exactly what I mean by this. So, first of all, well, there's not a lot of things to worry about just yet, but I want you to think about how you can make your code very readable. So, to start off, I want you to make sure you put in your comments, and then let's label the different aspects of our house with comments. So, for example, this might be the sky. So, make a comment that says sky. Here might be the window, right? So, put in like window. Maybe this is like the left window. We have our right window down here. Maybe this is the, this is the tree. Like, put in comments to explain what the different things in your drawing are, so that at a glance I can go through and see, oh, here's the code for this, here's the code for that. A window might consist of multiple shapes, right? It might be a square with 2 lines, or it might be 4 squares, or depending on how you do it, it might be a bunch of different things. Feel free, if you have a complex shape, to like sub comment it. Like, if you have like I don't know, I can't think of a good example, but if you have like a really complicated shape, you could comment, here is, maybe this is here, maybe you have a door with a semicircle window and a door handle. So you could comment, here's the door, but as you're coding the semicircular window, you could make a comment that this is that part of the door. And when you're coding the doorknob, you can comment, hey, here's the doorknob. So in addition to making your making your house look great, it's really your code that needs to be beautiful. Your house can be, any kind of ramshackle looking thing, but I want some beautiful code. Okay? So thanks so much for giving that a shot, and let me know. Just raise your hand when you're done. You can show me. I'll check you off for being complete. Thank you so much, Programming 12. Good luck on this first assignment.